did mention that today is a public holiday here for the grand final as two Melbourne teams vie for the Premiership Cup. There is no grand final parade. It's all happening in Perth. And for many fans, the grand final will be a bittersweet affair, given that this may be their only chance, Nicholas, of seeing their team win a premiership, and they can't be there because, of course, you can't go across to Perth. But we've got joining us next a man who's nevertheless very excited. He's a bona fide Western Bulldogs champ and now restaurateur, Paul Dimattina. Paul, welcome to the Friday Showdown. Did you try to get across to Perth? Did you try to be there for this momentous day?
Oh, God, looking forward to tomorrow. I got a fair few friends over there and family members, so at least my tickets were utilised. But I would love to have gone, but 2 weeks quarantining didn't interest me in the slightest. As much as I love football, there's not a hope in hell I'm going to be confined to a room for 2 weeks just to watch a game of footy. But very excited about watching the Bulldogs in the big dance tomorrow evening.
Paul, you're obviously a Bulldogs champion. I think the Doggies have won the flag twice, 1954 and 2016. What will it mean for the club if they win tomorrow? And what will it mean for the western suburbs of Melbourne, who have had a tough year?
I suppose not just for the Western Bulldogs members and supporters, for the Melbourne supporters as well. They've been starved of success since 1964. I just think it's great that it's an all-Victorian grand final. It gives us something to look forward to because, unfortunately, we don't have too much to look forward to at the moment. I know we've got an end date coming up sometime soon. Who knows when that'll be? But anyway, it's nice to be able to look forward to something. So tomorrow evening, it'd be great to watch the Bulldogs win their third flag, and to see the sheer joy and jubilation in 2016 was fabulous. And hopefully we can all be basking in the club's success tomorrow evening. It's quite a phenomenal achievement to do what they've done in the last 5 or 6 weeks by being on the road, being away from home, being away from their families, having to quarantine, having to isolate and do everything. And it's a bit indicative of the football club. We've always been a fabulous backs to the wall, underdog and us versus them type of football club. So and I'm really confident that the Bulldogs will win tomorrow night. I think Melbourne has a better back line than what the Bulldogs got, but I think the Bulldogs have we have a better forward line, and I reckon their midfield is just, the two best midfields in the league, and it's going to be an enthralling battle. So I'm just really excited to be watching it and looking forward to the Bulldogs coming out on top.
Now, Paul, every footy club has a bit of a stereotype, particularly around its supporters, and the D's are the top end of town, they're the toffs, and the Bulldogs are traditionally been seen as the battlers, and so do you think this is the grand final when the underdog is going to get up, excuse the pun, and because everyone's expecting the D's to prevail, and I think a lot of Melburnians, like you said, the D's haven't had premiership success since 1964. You guys won in 2016, but do you think the Bulldogs can upset all those predictions and get there?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, they've had 3 fabulous finals victories on the road already, and this is just another scalp that I genuinely believe they can take. And as I said, they've had all the odds against them in every game, and it's just one thing, just a testament to the resilience of the playing group and the coaching staff, of the way they've been able to travel, isolate, quarantine, and come out on top every game. Even the game in Adelaide a couple of weeks ago, they weren't granted, a final training session access to the ground, yet they were, absolutely fantastic in dismantling the Port Adelaide Footy Club, and I think they can do that again tomorrow night. And I think that underdog tag sits well with the Bulldogs. It is that blue collar suburb that we're from, and we do represent a different demographic from obviously Melbourne. But I am, as I said, genuinely confident that they will prevail tomorrow evening in Perth.
I've got something I want to run past you both. The Lord Mayor of Perth, Basil Simpalis, has put out a tweet calling for the 60,000 people at the grand final game tomorrow to, at the 20-minute and 21-second mark, stand up and give a round of applause for 1 minute for all Australians as a way of showing our common camaraderie and appreciation for everything that all Australians have been through. Rito, how do you feel about people in Perth giving you a 1 minute round of applause?
Yeah,
during the
this
game
tweet
tomorrow?
from Basil, I think, was ill-judged, to say the least. I think he was expecting people to just say, oh, thank you for that. Thanks for thinking of us. And I think the reaction has almost universally been, get stuffed, mate, because the last thing we want to be right now is to be pitied and patronised. We're doing things tough. But on that, Paul, I just want to ask you lastly, you mentioned the roadmap. How's your industry feeling? Do you feel like there is a light at the end of the tunnel now, or is there still too much uncertainty with this roadmap and too many restrictions that aren't going to let the hospitality sector operate properly?
I think not just the hospitality sector. A lot of people I've been speaking to and a lot of Victorians just feel that we still have our foot on, the government has their foot on our throat, and they do change the goalposts all the time. You'd like to think that they're going to stick to their word this time and maybe even fast track things a little bit, but we need to get back to living. It's just been a horrible 18 months, and this last lockdown definitely been the hardest. And the one thing our industry, and especially in hospitality, the sector's suffering is massive exodus of staff from the state. They've left the state, so the workforce has shrunk. And that's a scary thing when we reopen, just ensuring that there is enough staff so that we can all operate and do the best we can. And there's a lot that I've been speaking to that are really distraught at the moment, that they can't work out how they can reopen because they don't have any staff. So let's just hope the Premier finally sticks with his word, because we know that nothing that ever comes out of his mouth is true. And it's got to stop shifting the goalposts. They've got to take their foot off our throat and let us live again, because I'd rather die living than die the way we are at the moment. It's just been a horrible 18 months, and I know, I speak for my staff and a lot of family, a lot of friends who just feel we've sacrificed an enormous amount. It's about time they put some faith and trust back in us to start living again.
Yes, let's hope they look north to Sydney and see things returning to normal there, and that inspires us to do the same. Paul Dimattina, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks. Good to chat again, Rita, and go Bulldogs.